Isn't that a cool card? Hi, I'm Robbie Susan Chandler. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who lives in Quincy, Florida, right outside Tallahassee, Florida. I hold classes in my home, so if you live in the area, I'd love for you to come over and join one of my classes. I hold classes every 2 weeks or so. So anyway, I'm here to share that card with you that you just saw, that lantern light up card. And it's really not that difficult to make. Let me find my little spot there. There we go. And I have a little press here on this card that I printed out for everyone to put on their cards, so when they give it to someone, they'll know where to press. So isn't that cool? Alright, so let's find out how in the world do you make this card. And if you wanted to skip the electronic part of it, it's a pretty card just like this without putting the electronic part on it. So if you're interested in that, I'll show you how to do that too without the electronic. So let's get started. Okay, so first we need a card base, and I always use thick white for my card bases. I like the thicker paper because it holds up better, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4, just like this. Now I have already stamped the inside, and the inside is stamped with Cherry Cobbler and Pebble Path, and I used Light the Year for the sentiment and the lantern and the candle. Now to give them a little glow that you see there, I just took this light lemon lolly blend and just made a little yellow back here in the background like that. And then I took a Cherry Cobbler, and I use these same ones when I color my lantern. Took a little Cherry Cobbler blend, made my candle a little bit darker. And to make the flame a little darker, I just used a crushed curry marker right on the end. Just like that. So there we have the inside of our card. So now let's look at our pieces for the front. Okay, one piece you're going to need is a piece of pebbled path that's 4 by 5 1/4. And I cut that piece with the die from Garden Meadows die. I love this arch. It makes a really nice card front. So my 4 by 5 1/4 piece is cut with the arch, and then I embossed it with exposed brick embossing folder. So then we have this look. I love that brick look on this embossing folder. Alright, then we also have another piece this is from the Country Woods Designer Series paper, and I used this piece. Now there are a lot of cool pieces in here, so a really neat set of paper. If you haven't bought it yet, it's in the annual catalog. I've been using it quite a bit. So the piece we're using is this one, and it's 3.5 by 5. So what I did, okay, I don't want to hear this yet because we have to figure out where to put our little light when we make our lantern. So the first thing I did, I measured over 1 7/8 and up 2 inches, and I made a little dot with a pen. And then I just got my take your pick tool and got the big fat end and just pushed it through and made a hole there for my light. Now if you happen to have a little hole punch that will punch that far in, that would work nice too. Okay, so now we have our hole. You can now put these two pieces together and use dimensionals to do that, and I've already done that with this one. Alright, so here's our front. Now we've got to work on the electronic part. So let me set this aside for the moment. Now for the electronics, you have to have, number one, a battery case. So here's my battery case, and it's just a little rectangular piece, and you just fold it in half. And you want to glue it where you want your press here to be. So you don't want it, when you're looking at the card, you really kind of don't want it this far over, although it probably would work, but I kind of wanted it right inside that area. So I'm going to glue it about right here. You just kind of really never know where it's going to end up, but as long as it works, that's all that counts. All right, let me get that glue off. We don't want extra glue there. Okay, now we got our little battery case, and you're asking me what kind of batteries do we use. I'll show you those real quick. I use these CR 1220s, and these work great for this type of card. So that's for our battery case, but we're not going to put it in there yet because first we're going to put our copper wire down. Now our copper is what is our conductor from our battery to our light. And you know something I did not mark on here, where my light needs to be. So let's do that first. So to do that, you need to put down the piece that you've poked the hole in and center it right where you want it. And take your pen and just put a little dot right there. And that tells you that's where the light's going to be. Okay. Now, here's the copper wire, and you see it's pretty wide, so what I've been doing, I just cut it in half because you don't really need that big a width. And I just buy this off Amazon. And if you, I'll probably put a link for it down in the bottom below the video. So this is the wire, and the hardest part usually is to get it started. Now here's a piece of advice. Don't pull the backing all the way off or you will have a mess. It will just curl up and be a mess. Okay, so you want to start where your battery is going to be placed, and that is right here. So this is where the battery will be laying, and then you want to go up just a little bit. You don't want to go farther than that. Now I like to miter the corner. Now you could just tear this off and overlap it, but I'm going to try mitering here. So you go back and then you come forward and it sticks down on itself. And then you're going to just come along a little path here, and you want to stop just to the right of the dot, because that's where you're going to stick your light. So I'm going to miter again that way, and then come back. Oops, see, it stuck my finger. Then come back this way and just come right up beside that light. And you can just break this off. It doesn't, you don't have to cut it, just like that. All right, that's one side. Now that's actually our negative side. Now let's start on the other side. So you have to put your second piece right up next to that dot. I guess you can see this from there. Let me lift it up for a minute. So see, there's our dot, and we've got the copper on both sides. And I'm going to close the battery case right now because we're going to have to run some copper tape on there. So you come down, and you want to stop about where the middle of that is. So I bring it over, mash that down, and then you want to bring it back, and then just come along this edge, come up this. Now here's where you have to come up and over. Now you want to come right to about there. Now your copper should never touch each other. That's a little bit longer than I want. Let me pull that off. So your copper should never touch the other copper, and I want to make sure that one's not. There we go. Now once you get your copper down, I want you to see and I could have brought this up a little bit higher, but it'll work like that. You need to take your bone folder and flatten this out really good. I was playing with one earlier today, and I forgot to flatten my copper, and it really didn't want to work as well. So just smash that down good. All right, get it nice and smooth. Okay, well, that kind of to me is the hard part. So now that we've got the copper on there, like I said, this is the battery case, and it's going to lay right there, and this will close down. Now what we need is a light. Now the lights that I use are from this company called, I guess it's Chibi Tronics, and I get these off Amazon, and I actually threw this backing away, so I had to print out a picture of it. But these are the actual lights, and you get 30 in a pack, and they come on these little triangles like this, and you just peel one off. They're adhesive on the back, so you peel one off, and see that part's sticky, and you want to put it down with the point to your right, and you want to put it right on top of that dot that you made. So I'm going to stick that down. Now one side has to hit this side of the copper, and the other side has to hit the other side of the copper. There's my battery. Can you see that? So your copper's on each side. So here's the negative running up. Here's positive going back down. Now, let's hope this works. Most of the time it does. Sometimes you have to play with it. So you lay that there and you close the door down. Up, look at there. Yay. You should have seen us in class. Whenever it would light up in class, we all go, yay. All right, so now you've got your battery in there and you're wondering, how do I keep it there? Very good question. We're going to use these thick, Stampin' Up! Thick foam adhesive strips. And I've cut a few little pieces here. So you're going to make what I call a little cage, I guess. So you want to stick one piece above the battery. And it really doesn't matter if the adhesive is on top of the copper. I found out that's not an issue. But you don't want to put one right in here. All right, this is very sticky. So I'm going to stick that one there. So see, we've kind of got it hemmed up there. But we still need to put one here to keep it from running away right there. So let me grab one there. All right, so see, we've got our little battery case here. I'll show that to you up close. See, we got the three sides. Now just peel those off. I hope this is not too far. Might have gotten that too far over, but let's hope not. All right, and you bring this over and stick it down. And see, the height of the these dimensionals keep it from staying on all the time. So when people press it, then it'll come on. So there we have our light. Wasn't that fun doing that part? I've done so many of those this week. Let me stick this back in here because I really don't want this one to get damaged. Every now and then I have run across a bad battery and a bad light. So sometimes if it's not working, you might try a different battery just to see if that's what it is. All right, now this one, I've already put all my dimensionals on it. And see, here's the same setup here. And here's my battery. I just hadn't peeled this off yet, so let's peel these. So you need to put dimensionals on the rest of the front of your card. All right, let's stick that down. This one I had a little trouble with earlier. I don't know why, but now it seems to be working. All right, so I put these dimensionals in different places around so I can put this down. So let's go ahead and do that. I didn't stick one down ahead of time because I figured you wanted to see where these dimensionals should go. All right, now this is the fun part. You need to kind of hit that button and look for the light through the hole and hope that it doesn't stick everywhere it's not supposed to, like it's trying to do right now. All right. Okay, there, I can see it right there. And try to get it straight. Sometimes it helps if you have a buddy to kind of help you lay this down. Let's see if that's going to work. I might have gotten it too far over. Well, that'll work. There, it's shining through there. All right, that's pretty good right there. Okay, now I haven't shown you the lantern yet. What I did, I stamped my lantern on vellum, and this is one that I just stamped, and I left it like it is because I wanted to show you what it looks like without clear embossing powder. So then I sprinkled clear embossing powder so you get this kind of frosty look. Now the reason I like to seal it with clear, this will smear, especially when you're working with it to begin with. So once I sprinkled this on it, I heated it up, and now you see the little shine on it. It really looks more like a lantern, and I colored it on the back with the Dark Daffodil Delight and the Cherry Cobbler, and I did the flame. And I also put a couple of dimensionals on it because that's what we're going to need to stick it down with. But here's one that I went on and put the bow on because bows are so much fun to stick on when you're on camera. It seems like glue dots never go where I want them to go. All right, so to get this in the right place, go back to your light, press your light, and put your candle right where that light is. Okay, come on, there we go. Okay, right there. Yeah, right there. Everybody see that? So there's our candle lit up in our lantern. I think the bottom's a little crooked. Let me straighten it. Okay, and you see the dimensionals really don't show through. Now to finish this off, I cut these little green pieces out of garden green paper, and I used actually this little piece from Sophisticated Sled because I like the way it looked. And I offset it with a little bit of glue. See here, the two like this, and you could put them on top of each other, but I liked it better offset like that because it made more of a little arch. So let me put a little bit of glue right here and just pop those down on that glue. And you could bring one of them down a little bit if you wanted to be a little fuller at the bottom. Okay, not liking the way that's looking. Here we go. That's the way I look on it. All right, so see, it really feels down at the bottom. Pull it down a touch. There we go. Now I also added these little red balls right here, and these were punched out of red glimmer paper with the bow punch. That top design right there. I call it little pods. So let's see if we have enough glue to stick that there. You know, I think I'm gonna stick it behind the lantern. There we go. More in there. These things never go where you want them to go. There. Just kind of stick it there. And you see, it takes a little longer for glue to dry when you're working with a vellum. All right, and this one goes right, well, I'm going to stick it right under here. There. All right. Put a little glue on this one. Now we have one more piece we want to put on here. Lift this up. And we're going to go right under. There we go. All right. Now we want to put one more little thing in the middle, and it's these. They're called Cherry Cobbler and Pearl Adhesive Blackberries. And this is a pack of how they come, what they look like. You get half the pack red, half the pack clear. Well, I started running out of the red ones in my class, so I took the clear ones and I colored them with a Cherry Cobbler dark Cherry Cobbler blend. And to me, they look basically just like the others. So you can color these clear ones and any color you want. So I'm going to stick that right down there in the middle. And there we go. Now, have I left anything off? Yes, one thing. We need the press here, so we'll know where it's going to go. So let me put a little bit in. You could use a glue dot to stick this down, but I'm just going to use a little bit of glue here. And it's going to stick to my finger. All right, so now you got to find the spot on your card that you need the person to mash. So in my case, on this card, I want to go right there. And see, it's kind of hidden by that. So there we go. And this one's flickering, so it does look like a candle. So isn't that cool? And there's the inside. So there's our card. Not so bad, huh? I'll put the links for the lights and the copper down below so you'll know where to find those. They're on Amazon. So I hope you like this card and give it a try. It's really not that hard, but like I said, if you just wanted this card like this, you could leave off all this electronic stuff. You could leave this off and just put this piece down and put your lantern on it, and it would be a pretty card anyway. So I hope you enjoyed watching me make this card. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that and like my video. And until next time, happy crafting.